Hello everyone. In this lesson we will learn about building up real content for one of our pages. Without further ado, let's just jump right into the action. Alright, so this is my public-facing WordPress website, and if I use my navigation to navigate to the About Us page, we can see that currently this page only has a tiny bit of placeholder content. So in this lesson, we are going to add additional content to the page, and along the way, we will learn a few new skills. Okay, so if I want to make changes to this page, if I want to edit this page, assuming I'm logged into WordPress as the admin of the website, I can just look up in the top bar of the page and make use of this Edit Page button. And that will take me directly to the edit screen for that page. So now I'm free to begin changing this content. Now obviously you're free to type out whatever content you would like, but here's what I'm going to type. This business is our pride and joy. We've been around for a long time. Okay, now in the real world, if this page was about you, hopefully you would have more to say about yourself than just these two sentences. But for the purposes of keeping this video rolling along at a nice tempo, I'm not going to type any other content manually. Instead, I'm just going to paste in a bit of filler lorem ipsum text. Okay, so imagine you have your intro paragraph here, and then maybe you want to add a YouTube video to your page. So maybe we want the next piece of content here to be a video. So as an example, let me show you how relatively simple it is to add videos from YouTube to your page. Let me switch over to another browser window where I've navigated to youtube.com. And then just go ahead and find the video that you want to include on your page. Okay, so begin watching the video that you're interested in. And then right below the video player, you will see a bit of information about the channel who owns the video. And then right below that content, you'll see a share button. Okay, so let me scroll down just a little bit. And then I'm going to click this share button. Once I click that, it gives me a few new options to choose from. I can choose between share, embed, or email. We are interested in embed. We want to embed this video into our WordPress page. So as soon as I click on embed, YouTube gives me this bit of code. Now with this code highlighted, go ahead and copy it into your clipboard. Then switch back to your WordPress admin area. And as you might have guessed, now we just want to paste that code into our content here. However, before we go ahead and paste in that code, first we want to pay attention to these two tabs here. See these two tabs here that read Visual and Text. If I click on Visual, nothing happens because we are already using the visual editor or the visual mode of WordPress. Now, 99% of the time, visual mode is great. It makes it very simple to create content here. But in this case, we want to paste in that bit of code that YouTube gave us. So we want to switch over to the text view or the text mode. So let's click that. Okay, and now let's place our cursor down here. And now we are safe to paste in that code that YouTube gave us. So this is the code that YouTube gave us. I'm going to add a new space or empty line in between it and our paragraph. Okay, and with this code in place, now I can switch back to the visual mode. So just click on visual again. And there we have it. So there's the video added to our content. Let's test it out. Let's take it for a spin. So let's go ahead and click this blue update button. And now we see this success message, page updated, and we can use this view page link to immediately view the public-facing page. Okay, so this is what the world will see when they come to our website and click on About Us. Pretty cool. So now if anyone comes to this page and clicks on this video, it will begin playing. Now before we change gears and learn how to add our own photographs to this page, I do want to show you one last YouTube tip. So currently, notice how this YouTube video has the title of the video right here. Maybe we don't want that. So if we go back to YouTube, we can actually customize what YouTube gives us for the video player. So check this out. After you click the share button and then the embed button, and again, remember I'm currently viewing youtube.com, here's the code that YouTube gives you. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this Show More option. And if I click that, YouTube gives us new options we can use to customize the video experience that it gives us. So here we see we can change the size of the video player. So maybe instead of 560, I want 640. So that will make the video player a little bit larger on our page. And then you can also customize all of these settings. So I usually uncheck this first one, show suggested videos when the video finishes. I uncheck that because I don't want to advertise for other people's videos when visitors of my website have finished watching the video. Okay, and if for some reason you don't want the visitors of your website to be able to rewind or fast forward in the video, you can uncheck this option. And if you don't want the title of the video to show up in the top left corner, you can uncheck this option. Okay, and now YouTube has given us a new bit of code here that takes all of our option choices into account. So again, just go ahead and copy this new code into your clipboard. Go back to WordPress. This is the public-facing website, so let me use this Edit Page button to go back to the admin side of things. Here we can see the video because we are in visual mode, but let's switch over to text mode. Here's the bit of code that creates the YouTube video, so just delete that and then paste in the brand new code that YouTube gave us. Add a space here. Go ahead and click the Update button. Page was successfully updated, and then we can use this link to switch back to the public-facing website. And now you can see the video is a little bit larger, and we don't have that annoying title right about here. Okay, so that was a bit of a tangent on working with YouTube videos, but hopefully you found it useful. Next, let's change gears and let's add a bit of extra text below the video. And then let's also work on adding in our own photograph to the page. So if I want to edit the page again, I'm going to use this Edit Page link up in the top bar. Currently, we are using the text mode. Why don't we go ahead and switch back to the visual mode? Okay, and we wanted to add a bit of text below the video. So I'm just going to click to the right of the video to place my cursor there and then hit Enter or Return. And now we can start typing again. Now instead of typing out a big paragraph, I'm just going to paste in a bit of dummy text. Feel free to add whatever text you would like. Maybe pause this lesson for a moment as you add in your own text. But next, what we want to do is learn how to add our own photograph maybe to the right side of the text, so right about here. So let me show you how I would achieve that. I would place my cursor at the beginning of this text, so right before this first word here. And then towards the top left of the screen, notice this Add Media button. Go ahead and click that, Add Media. Currently, in my example here, Media Library is selected. Media Library consists of all the files you've uploaded to WordPress in the past. So in my case, all that I have in my library is the logo file that I'm using up in the header. And I don't want to use that in this instance. I want to upload a new photograph. So go ahead and click on this Upload Files button. Then choose this Select Files button. And now it's up to you to find a photograph on your computer's hard drive that you want to use. So in my case, I have a folder on my desktop named Assets, and I have this photo of myself named Brad Photo that I'm going to use. Okay, and now along the right-hand side of the screen, in this area, we can customize how that image gets added to the page. So for example, we can control its size and its placement. So down here we see alignment. So maybe I want to align it to the right, so it kind of floats to the right of all of the text that it's near. So I can choose right. I can choose a different size, but for now I'm going to leave it set to medium, and then click Insert into Page. Okay, and there we see it. Now next, what if you want to add a caption to the photograph? So maybe you want to add a bit of text right here, right below the photo that pertains to the photo. Well, you can always just click on the photo that you want to edit or work with. And once I do that, notice this little pop-up menu appears. Go ahead and use this pencil icon here. So if I hover over it, it says Edit. Okay, and from this screen, you could customize the alignment of the photo and the size of the photo. But more importantly, we see this first field is caption. So I will type, "This is a cheesy photo of myself." And this alternative text field is also very important. So if for some reason the file fails to load for someone, maybe their internet connection goes out for a second, or the server's acting funny, or if someone comes to our website and they are visually impaired and their computer has software that will read out loud the content of the page to them, well, in that case, they can't see the image, but whatever we type here, they will hear. So I would just say, "Photo of Brad." This alternative text field can also help boost your search engine optimization rankings. So be sure to always fill out this field. Okay, then I'm going to click this update button. Here we can see the caption. And for now, I'm happy with this content, so I'm going to use this blue update button to save my progress. Here we see this page successfully updated message, and if I click View Page, this is what the general public will see. Looks good. Okay, so we just successfully added a photograph to the page. Now let's change gears and talk about something else. So if I scroll back up to the top of this page, we can see that here is the title of this particular page, About Us, and it uses a nice large font size because it's the title, but then we notice that the rest of our content uses a very uniform standard font size. So the question becomes, what if we want to have subheadings? So for example, maybe I want to have my main page title here, and then I want to have a subtitle or subheadline right here that reads About the Company. And then maybe down here, before this text, maybe I want to have another subheading right here that reads About Me. Okay, so basically the question at hand here is, how do you use different font sizes? Let me show you how I would handle that. So if I want to edit this page again, I can just use this edit page link up in the top bar. Okay, and this field is what controls the main title of the page. Each page or post can only have one title, but what if we want to have subtitles or subheadlines down here in our content? So check this out. If I create a new line of text, type anything I want, by default, each new line of text is just considered a standard paragraph. So WordPress considers this a paragraph, WordPress considers this a paragraph, you get the idea. But if I want this piece of text to be treated as a headline, I can just highlight it, and then using this menu, see this menu that currently says paragraph, if I click on that, I can choose between these different heading options. So if I choose heading 1, that's going to use a fairly large font size. Heading 2 will be a little bit smaller. You get the idea. Heading 3 is even smaller. If you've ever used word processing software, these heading options or these formatting options should be a bit familiar. Okay, so feel free to use whatever heading level you feel is appropriate. I will use heading level 3, and then you can just say About the Company or whatever text you want to use. And then maybe down here, right after the YouTube video, I will say About Me. Okay, so again, by default, a new line of text is considered a paragraph, and then I can just highlight it, use this menu, and select heading 3. This looks good to me, so I will use the blue update button. And let's go see how this content looks on the public-facing portion of our website. Okay, so here's one of the new subheadings we just created. If I scroll down a bit, here's the other one. Looks good. And that's actually going to bring this lesson to a close. I know that we covered a lot in this lesson and we moved at a fairly fast pace. So it's okay if you didn't 100% absorb everything. If that's the case, if you're feeling like this lesson went a little too fast, why don't you try this? Why don't you go and create a brand new page in WordPress? There are a few different ways you can do that. If you're currently viewing the public-facing portion of your website, just look in this top bar for the button that reads New. It's right about here. And if you hover over it, within this menu, you can click on Page. That's one way to create a new page, or you can use this link to just go back to your dashboard in general. And then in the admin sidebar, look for Pages, and then you can click Add New. All right, now if you feel like this lesson went a little bit too fast, why don't you just watch this lesson a second time and apply the techniques you see to this new page. WordPress doesn't limit how many pages we can create. Practicing again and again and experimenting is the best way to move forward. Now in our next lesson, we will learn how to create subpages. More importantly, I guess we will learn what a subpage even is. And we will also learn how to create drop-down menus within our main navigation link menu. And finally, we'll also learn how to add links to our other pages within our paragraphs of content. It should be a lot of fun. Let's keep things rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson. Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we will learn about subpages. Let's begin by asking the question, what is a subpage? All right, so here we see the home page of my public website. And if I use the navigation to visit my About Us page, here we see the page that I was working on in the previous lesson. And now, in this lesson, let's imagine I want to add another couple of new pages that belong to the About Us page, or that are highly related to the About Us page. So for example, in this lesson, maybe I want to create a new page named Our History, and maybe I want to create another new page named How We Work. So in that case, the About Us page would be the parent page, and then Our History would be its child, and How We Work would also be a child page that belongs to About Us. Okay, that's enough talking. Now let's get our hands dirty and actually try to create a subpage. So I will use this link to navigate to my admin dashboard area. I want to create a new page, so in the sidebar I will look for Pages and then click Add New. I will give this new page a title of Our History. For the content, I will just paste in a bit of lorem ipsum filler dummy content. And now here is the important part. Over on the right-hand side of the page, notice this Page Attributes box. The first option we see here is named Parent. If I click on this field, I can choose between any of my currently existing pages. So I will choose About Us. And that's my way of telling WordPress that this brand new Our History page should be considered the child of the About Us page, right? The About Us page is the parent page. All right, so let's go ahead and click the blue Publish button. And now, if we look within our main left-hand menu and click on Pages again, this screen will always show us a list of all of our pages. Notice that the new page that we just created, Our History, has these two dashes in front of it. And it's listed right underneath the About Us page. WordPress does this so that when we look at a list of all of our pages, we can immediately tell which pages belong to other pages. So the dashes create a bit of indentation, which implies that this page is kind of nested within this page, or that this page belongs to this page. Okay, now at this point, why don't we jump back to our public-facing website and navigate to our About Us page. And I want to point out that currently this page does not include a link to the new Our History page. Now remember, every theme is different. Some themes do indeed show links to all of the children pages when you are viewing a parent page, but a lot of themes do not. So for example, I'm using the 2016 theme, and it doesn't automatically list the children links anywhere. So in this case, it's up to us to create that link manually. So for the remainder of this lesson, we have two main goals. Goal number one will be to add a link in our main navigation menu so that when you hover over About Us, a little drop-down menu appears right about here with links to any of the child pages that belong to About Us. Okay, so that's goal number one. And then goal number two is to learn how to create links within the main paragraphs of content on a page. Okay, let's start with the main navigation menu goal. So I'm going to jump back to my admin dashboard. And in the left-hand menu, I will look for Appearance. And then I'm interested in Menus. Okay, so here we can see our menu. It currently consists of these 3 links. And over here, we can see a list of all available pages on our website. So here we see the brand new Our History page. So I will just check that and then click Add to Menu. All right, only I don't want my Our History page to be treated like a main top-level link like these 3 pages. I want Our History to be nested within About Us. So it's as easy as just clicking and dragging Our History to be right about here, and then just drag a little bit to the right, and WordPress will know what you're trying to do. And that little bit of indentation here implies that this page belongs to this page. All right, so let's go ahead and click the blue Save Menu button. And if I use this link in the top left corner to switch back to the public website, within our main navigation, we can now see this little downward facing arrow. And if I hover over About Us, we see Our History. Perfect. So I can click that to visit that page. And practice makes perfect, so why don't we create another new page named How We Work and also set it to be a child page of About Us. So let's jump back to our admin area. Under Pages, let's click Add New. For the title, I will say How We Work. For the content, I'll just paste in a bit of dummy filler text. And over here within the right-hand column, even though the current theme we are using doesn't really make use of the parent-child relationship, I still want to let WordPress know that I consider this page to be a child of About Us, because it will help me stay organized when I view a list of all pages in the admin area. And if we ever switch to a new theme in the future, maybe that theme will make use of the parent-child relationship out of the box. Okay, so let's publish this new page. Now, if I switched over to the public website, we wouldn't see a link to this new page anywhere. So now let's manually add a link to this new page in our main navigation menu. So over in the left-hand sidebar, under Appearance, let's click on Menus. Again, here's a list of all of our pages. Here's the new How We Work that we just created. So let's check that and then click Add to Menu. And then I'm just going to click and drag this new page so that it lives under About Us. Perfect. So that little bit of indentation implies that it belongs to About Us. Let's save this menu and jump back to our public-facing website. So now I can click on About Us, and if I hover over About Us, we have our 2 child pages. Okay, so that takes care of the navigation menu. Let's change gears now and work on our final goal for this lesson, and that is learning how to add links to other pages within the main paragraph text or content of a page. So for example, maybe on this main About Us page, let's imagine I want to add a new paragraph down here, and within that paragraph, I want to have links to each of the new child pages and also maybe a link to the Contact Us page. So if I want to edit the page that I'm currently viewing, up in the top bar, I can just make use of this Edit Page button. Okay, within this main content field, let's scroll down to the very bottom. I'll place my cursor at the end of the text and then hit Enter to get to a new line. And I will say, our company is very interesting. You can learn about our history, and you can also learn more about how we work. If you would like to work with us, be sure to visit our contact page. Okay, now watch how easy it is to create links out of certain phrases within this paragraph. So within this sentence, you can learn more about our history. I want our and history to be a link to the Our History page. So I just highlight that little bit of text, and then up in this menu, look for this icon. When I hover over this icon, it says Insert or Edit Link. So if I click that, then down here, this new menu appears. and it says paste URL or type to search. So what WordPress is doing here is it's asking us, where do you want visitors to be taken when they click this link? Now, I'm not a robot, so I haven't memorized the URLs of all of my pages, so that's why WordPress will let me search here. So if I just begin searching for my Our History page, as I begin typing that, WordPress tries to guess what I'm looking for, and you can see here, it guessed correctly, so I will just click on Our History, and then it fills in the URL to that page. So now I can just click this blue button, and we successfully created a link. So now I can just click anywhere else on the page to make this menu disappear. And practice makes perfect, so let's do the same thing for how we work. So I highlight those words that I want to turn into a link, and then up in this menu, I use this icon. Now down within this menu, I just start typing for the page I'm looking for, so how, and WordPress knows that this is probably what I'm looking for, so just click on that. Then click this blue apply icon. Okay, and finally, I want to illustrate that it's not like you can only link to children pages. You can link to any page, and you can even link to other websites. So we could link to Google or Facebook, you get the idea. But the point is we can definitely link to our contact page, even though the contact page doesn't have anything to do with the About Us page. So let me select contact page, and with that highlighted, use this icon to pull up this menu and begin typing contact us. This is the result I want, so I click on that, click the blue apply button, and we're in business. So I'm happy with these changes. I will use the blue update button in the right-hand column. Up here, we see this page was successfully created message, and I can use that view page link to go directly to that page, About Us. And if we scroll down, here we see that new paragraph. Let's test out the links. So I will click on Our History. Worked perfectly. If I go back to About Us, I can test out How We Work. That link works as well. And if I go back to About Us and test out the contact page link, that works as well. And in addition to those paragraph links, we still have our trusty main navigation drop-down menu. And that's actually going to bring this lesson to a close. I encourage you to experiment by creating your own new pages, setting them up with the parent-child relationship, and then creating your own drop-down menus within the admin appearance menu screen. Practicing and constantly experimenting is really the best way to really let this material sink in. Okay, now in our next lesson, we will learn how to create a photo gallery page with a nice grid of thumbnail images, and when you click on one, you'll be able to view the larger version of the photograph. It should be a lot of fun. Let's keep rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson.